Science with Mrs. Miller at BVISD. Today we're starting the vertebrate animals. We've been in animals for a while, but we had been focusing on invertebrates. And so today we're going to be focusing on chordate animals. So what we want to be able to do is identify the major characteristics of chordates. We also want to be able to list the major characteristics common to all vertebrates and explain the difference between ectotherms and endotherms, and name the characteristics of the three classes of fish. So the vocabulary to be on the lookout for is chordate, ectotherm, and endotherm, as well as cartilage. Okay, so this is a picture of our animal kingdoms. Now at the top, we have invertebrates and chordates. So our chordates come down, and they're separated into three pieces. We have the vertebrates, the lancets, and the tunicates. Now the vertebrates, which we're focusing on today, are going to focus on the mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, bony fish, cartilaginous fish, and jawless fish. So a lot to think about there. But let's go back and dial it down. Let's look at these chordate animals. Now these are animals that have a spinal cord. Now, we all know what that is. It actually runs within our backbone. It's in that little center, and it is actually part of this wonderful nerve system. Now, all of these animals have a nodal cord and gill slits at some point in their lives, or at some point in their development. So, general characteristics of chordate animals: spinal cord, nodal cord, gill slits at some point during their development. Vertebrates are also chordates with the muscles attached to an internal system of bones, the endoskeleton. Now, they can also be further broken down into ectotherms and endotherms. Ectotherms, like snakes, being the we might call cold-blooded, and the endotherms, like that bobcat seen here, those are more warm-blooded animals. So we can take a look at this picture, and we can blow it up a little bit and take a really good look. So here we have that echinoderm, that spiny skin thing that we used to work with. Now, as we follow phylum Chordata up, you're also going to see where we have this urochord, a special type of nodal cord. Then we go into having some a brain activity with the cephalochord. And then we go into the different types of classes from there. So that's a little complicated, but we're not going to worry about it. But it does lead us to mammals, just so you know. Now, the first section of chordates that we're going to focus on is fish. Now, we know we have three major types of fish with defining characteristics. All fish have gills. And what the gills do is they exchange carbon dioxide for oxygen. They have fins to steer, balance, and move, and scales. Now this is a covering used for protection. And we all know that they're water dwelling, but they're also ectotherms, meaning they rely on the outside temperature to maintain their internal temperature. So, bony fishes. This is the first type. Now they have a skeleton that has 95% that is bone, and 95% of all fishes fall into this bony type of fish. Now they have swim bladders because bones can be dense, and these swim bladders allow them to control the depth at which they're swimming. They also have that external fertilization. What they do is they lay eggs, and a male comes along and will fertilize the eggs. Okay, they do have endoskeletons, that internal skeleton that has some cartilage in it, but that's that rough, flexible tissue that's sort of like bone, but not quite. The other group of fish that we're going to look at is the jawless fish. They usually look more like snakes, but they don't have scales. They do have a cartilaginous skeleton, which means it's not quite bone. And they have a mouth without a jaw. Now, that means that they usually have to suck on something. There's not a whole lot of species of this jawless fish. Now, there's cartilaginous fishes, the most famous of which is a shark. There's no bones in shark, really. These are all cartilage. Much softer than that bone. They do have the movable jaws, and they have rougher scales. Usually these have sharp teeth because they're very big predators. And like I said, the shark is the main one that you're going to be familiar with. So what do all fishes have in common? This is your listening check. Do all fishes have scales, gills, fins, teeth, or all of the above, or A, B, and C? That's listening check number 1. Listening check number 2. What are 2 characteristics all chordates have in common? Scales and fins, spine and nerve cord, notochord and nose, or notochord and gill slits? Listening check number 3. What are the 3 groups of fish? Shark, narwhal, and hagfish. Jawless, cartilaginous, and bony. Ectotherms, endotherms, and shark. Snakes, sharks, and tropical, Arctic, and temporal. One more listening check. How do ectotherms and endotherm, what do ectotherm and endotherm mean? Ectotherm is cold-blooded, endotherm is warm-blooded. Ectotherm is warm-blooded and endotherm is cold-blooded. Ectotherms live in water and endotherms live on land? Or I don't know. Another listening check. What are the major characteristics of vertebrates? Notochord and gill slits, spine and gill slits and muscles, muscles and endoskeletons, or endoskeleton, notochord and gills, or final endoskeleton and notochord. So that's it for today. Make sure you take notes, bring any questions that you might have to class, and we'll see you next time when we do Section 2, Amphibians and Reptiles.